COVID's impact continues, this time with organized sports for children. A survey from the Aspen Institute found that nearly half of community-based sports have closed for children during the pandemic. So what does this closure and also the lack of interest in sports do to their health? I talked to Dr. Danielle O'Neill to find out.
You're saying that people aren't putting their kids in organized sports as much?
Well, it's really gone back and forth, but I'm here to tell the parents that are worried that many of their organized sports have shut down with COVID, that they shouldn't worry, that it's such a double-edged sword. And because I'm an optimist, I think that maybe there's some positives that can come from this.
Is it pandemic related why, there's not as many are doing it right now?
Absolutely, and parents are understandably nervous about it. But organized sports has not been is not a panacea for fitness, and that's what I think we've come to in this country, literally over the past 100 years. That this is something that if the kid is playing organized sports, everything is good. But it's not, because we know that 75% of these kids, again, we're not talking pandemic at all. We're talking about before this. 75% are done and dusted with organized sports by the time they're 15.
Wow. And I'm thinking that once I ended high school, it was like that daily routine of going to volleyball practice is done. Now what do you incorporate in?
Right. And that's the key. And that's why I make such a big deal about talking about physical identity. And our job as parents, particularly parents with young children, is to make sure they keep their physical identity. Now, as you know, a little kid comes out and they are good to go. They don't need to be told to move. They don't need to be told to touch things or to be curious about the world. We just have to let them keep doing that. And by keeping their physical identity, by keeping them active, by allowing them these adventures, that's going to happen just naturally.
Yeah. Does physical education in schools help give them this physical identity, or what is that a contribution?
Absolutely. And that's one of the big points I make in Survival of the Fit. The PE structure in our school right now is woefully inadequate, because kids getting one on a really good school 2 times a week, but we know that they need PE every child, every day, every year of school. And that's been my big mission with writing this book and getting that what I call that PE revolution out there. Because if we can get those kids, get their heart rates up for 45 minutes a day for at least 180 days a year, now we're at least got a base, and we're at least trying to avoid that loss of physical identity.
I assume at some point technology starts to, be the competition for wanting to get out of the house and get moving. How do you encourage kids then to, no, keep that physical identity up?
And you're absolutely right. It actually, we've looked at the data, it's 7 years old that a lot of the kids are making that break, and those couch potatoes are already showing signs at 7 years old, which is incredible, right? Yeah. But because the competition for things outside is so significant, and these indoor activities are really brilliant that the kids have compared to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But they're still not Mother Nature. And we do have to be careful with the organized sports that they can be a job for these kids also. We don't want them to, if they're doing the organized sports and they're loving it and they're saying, Mom, can I, be on the travel soccer team or whatever you can do, that's grand. But at the end of the day, all I want that kid saying, I did my chores, can I go outside now and play?
That's the goal. All right, look for Dr. O'Neill's book, Survival of the Fit, to learn more.